I'm going to make it. So here is the welcome page, the landing page for your Civil War and film class. And I guess if you're looking at this video, realistically, you found it. So you're good there. But where I'm going to take you down here, since I'm talking to you specifically about the final project in this little welcome, I'm going to show you, go down here to assignments. And you don't necessarily have to start on this final project right away. It is a presentation. It should be 11 to 20 minutes long. You can film it and upload it to YouTube, or you can upload it to Blackboard. But we're going to go over here to week 6 because it's the final. It'll be in our last week. If you open that folder, each of the weeks will have your quizzes and things like that. And then the only thing in week 6 right now is your final presentation project. So when you open this, it's a nifty little Civil War in film guide. I'm going to go ahead and take that full screen for us. I'm over here in my bubble. Whee! I'm up here now. So what you're going to do is you are going to, after 5 weeks of us viewing and analyzing films together in an interactive format, you're going to have the opportunity to choose a film, watch it, and analyze it for yourself, and then present back to us how it is that the structures we've studied in this class are evident in these films. And don't worry, they've all got stuff that you'll be able to work with. So here's the list of films. The one thing that we do need from you is please look at this list of films and choose one in this first week if you can, and let Dr. Schiffler and I know what your choice is going to be, because we are going to need to see that in order to make sure that we get a copy of that film to you in time. It's possible that you may have access to some of these already through streaming services that you already own, and that's fine. Just let us know that. We don't want you to get to week 5 and not have a film. That would be tragic because Blockbuster isn't a thing anymore in most places. So what you're going to do is, like I already said, we're analyzing 4 films together as a class, and after that, you're going to analyze one of these films for yourselves. So I've given you a really clear breakdown of how you are going to do your presentation. 1 to 2 minutes, you'll introduce yourself. That's going to be 10% of your grade. 3 to 4 minutes, you'll introduce the ideological framework that we've studied through this class. So Mr. Gallagher, as you're going to learn, is going to give you 4 frameworks of historical memory for the Civil War, interpretive memory. So you're going to introduce those 4 traditions and talk about them for just a little time to show us that we understand where you're going. Then in 1 to 2 minutes, you're going to introduce your film. Tell us kind of what is it broadly, what is it about. You don't have to go into the nitty-gritty yet, just talk to us about the film. Then you'll spend 1 to 2 minutes talking about specifically the historical context. Because, for instance, if you're talking about the Field of the Lost Shoes, probably the Civil War in, say, New Mexico is not super relevant. You're probably going to want to talk specifically about what's going on in that particular region. So paint that historical context. Your textbook is going to give you a fantastic framework for doing that. And then in 4 to 8 minutes, and I keep it fast on purpose, I don't want you to get so bogged down that you bore yourself. I want to make sure that you are able to talk about the juiciest parts and that you're comfortable letting the rest go. But in 4 to 8 minutes, that's worth 40% of your grade. You're going to analyze your film using those ideological frameworks that you introduced back up here in step 2. So you'll take some time to talk about that. You can introduce clips of the film into your presentation if you want to. We do ask that you not overuse clips. We want to hear you. We want to hear your thoughts. So if you're doing, say, a 4-minute presentation, we want to make sure you have no more than 2 minutes of that presentation in video clips. We want to keep it to half. Okay, so if you don't want to use any clips, totally fine. Just tell us what part of the film you saw a specific instance or a specific interpretation in. That will also be fine. And then in 1 to 2 minutes, you're going to draw your conclusion and give us your final remarks. I've got little grading guidelines down here so you can see sort of how you will be assessed. I've given you the percentage for each of these components so you know what all of those are worth to your final performance. So for this first week, all we need you to do is have a look at this list and let us know which film it is that you want. From there, you don't really need to look at this with any seriousness for at least another 2 or 3 weeks. But once the film arrives, you might go ahead and have a watch with these frameworks in mind and start thinking about how it is that you will use what we're doing in the class to make your final analytical presentation. So that's all I have for now. I like keeping videos short so that you can watch them in chunks if you want to. So that's it for this. I will make another video for you in just a few minutes. Bye.